Right now, a Rock County jail program meant to help inmates recover ended up being used to smuggle in drugs.
And we're asking Madison residents how closely they've been following the impeachment debate as the House prepares to vote tonight.
Plus, lawmakers have approved raises for state and UW workers, but not state troopers. An update on what happens next.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us. Right now, the House continues debating the impeachment of President Donald Trump.
They're considering two articles, abuse of power and obstruction of justice, obstruction of Congress, and are expected to vote separately on each article soon. We will rejoin CBS News' coverage at 6:30 when the voting is expected to begin.
Next at 6, 2 people face charges of delivering drugs after they were caught sneaking Suboxone into the Rock County jail.
To do so, police say they abused a program meant for good. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with the role a dog played in the incident. Adam?
Eric and Charlotte, it's a program that's designed to help inmates with rehabilitation, then used to sneak drugs into the jail. And while the sergeant I talked to today says this has never happened before, it still doesn't come as a shock to him. Willie is just one of the dogs
Shake. Other hand. Shake.
that those in the recap program at the Rock County Jail work with. A Humane Society rescue, they'll train and eventually find a new home.
They are somewhat less than desirable as far as being adoptable, so they need to work on socialization and obedience.
Earlier this month, deputies say they found Suboxone inside the jail, but didn't know how it got there until an investigation led them back to the dogs.
It is something that doesn't happen very often at all.
Sergeant Jay Williams said an inmate named Paul Olivas was working with the dog and used it as an excuse to get outside the jail's walls, where he then picked up the drugs left by Pamela Vincent and smuggled them back inside. Williams says it's unfortunate a program meant to help rehabilitate was used like this, but adds addictions can be difficult to break.
They are still going to have cravings. They're still going to be thinking about when they were using and want to use again.
And while one inmate used the relationship bond shared with man's best friend for bad,
Lay down, Pop. Come on.
he says that doesn't mean they'll take the program away from others. Williams says in the 5 years that the program has existed, they've helped find homes for nearly 20 dogs. Now, both Olivas and Vincent are awaiting an initial appearance in Rock County Court.
Adam Duxter reporting tonight. Adam, thank you.
New at 6, 3 Portage inmates who allegedly started the ongoing lockdown at Columbia Correctional Institute are facing felony assault charges. That's according to the Portage Daily Register. 30-year-old Timothy Durley is accused of attacking a corrections officer. That happened on November 8th, to the point that the officer blacked out and suffered significant facial injuries. Charges were also filed against 2 other inmates accused of attacking corrections officers. 2 men are suspected to have played a role in an overdose death in Grant County. That's according to a release from the sheriff's office there. Deputies were sent to a home on Cedar Road in Boscobel November 21st for a death investigation. Officials say 23-year-old Sierra Stramitz died from an overdose of heroin, which contained fentanyl. Detectives arrested 23-year-old Austin Janik and 29-year-old Travis Heel of La Crosse on suspicion of first-degree reckless homicide. The Grant County DA is now reviewing that case.
A new trial date has been set for a man accused of stabbing a Rock County woman in 2017. The murder case ended in a mistrial in October. 23-year-old Julian Collazo is expected to go to trial again starting June 20th. He's facing a first-degree intentional homicide charge. Collazo is accused of killing 43-year-old Christine Skasia Lubeck and then fleeing to Missouri. Madison police have arrested 27-year-old Rondino Fleming as a suspect in a bank robbery last week. This happened last Monday afternoon at the Associated Bank on Fish Hatchery Road in Fitchburg. Fleming is being held in jail on charges from an unrelated case. The investigation is ongoing.
Well, the weather, we have a warm-up coming our way. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
We'll actually see that warm-up start over the next few hours as milder air out to our west heads in our direction. The leading edge of the warm air starting to move into northern Wisconsin with a little band of light snow showers up toward Lake Superior. High temperatures today were early this morning. Here in Madison, we were at 20 degrees at midnight, but then the temperatures dropped off and we hit a low of 1 degree above zero, our coldest temperature so far this season. Right now, our temperature's at 16. We've actually gone up 2 degrees over the last 2 hours. And by tomorrow morning, temperature should be around 20 degrees with partly cloudy skies overnight. Tomorrow will be a partly sunny and milder day with a high of 34. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes 40s beginning on Friday and lasting through the Christmas holiday.
Gary, thank you. An update to the investigation into hidden cameras found at East High School students' hotel rooms during a field trip to Minneapolis. The Isthmus reporting the State Department of Justice's Office of Victim Services and the Department of Criminal Investigation were brought in by Minnesota police at the beginning of the investigation. A DOJ spokesperson would not provide further details. No arrests have yet been made. An audit finds most Wisconsin school safety plans adequately cover safety guidelines and procedures, but it also shows only about half of the plans reviewed had guidelines and policies for non-classroom emergencies other than bus accidents and field trips. About half of the plans had guidelines for parent-student reunification, but many were not detailed procedures.
A reminder, the House is expected to begin voting on impeachment at 6:30 tonight. Over the last several weeks, the impeachment hearings have been going on. Some Madison residents have been paying close attention, some just waiting for it to be over to find out what's going to happen.
And Jamie Perez spoke to people here asking what their thoughts were on whether or not they're watching the hearings and what they think so far.
His actions warrant his impeachment and demand his removal from office.
It is a matter for the voters, not this House, not in this way.
As history is being made in our nation's capital, many eyes and ears are standing by waiting to see what happens next.
Are you following the impeachment hearings?
In the newspaper, but not live on TV.
Yes, I am.
No.
Darn tootin'.
While a lot of Madisonians are watching closely, not everyone necessarily likes what they see.
I mean, all the stories back and forth, it's just too disturbing for me.
It's a long time coming.
I'm curious to see how both sides frame.
Some people aren't paying close attention at all.
We don't talk about it. We don't watch the news.
No matter what side they're in favor
But
of.
all of this is adults acting like children, lying and not being willing to admit things that are not true.
Frustrated, I think, with one side more than the other.
Glad to see it happening. I understand it's divisive and it's problematic, but I'm glad to see it happening. And I'm very concerned about legislators who are, in advance of the hearing, already saying, well, my mind's already made up. I don't care what the evidence shows.
No matter who is watching.
I can't listen and watch all that. It's too disturbing to me.
No matter who is paying attention.
I do think that there are people who aren't following it because they feel as though they don't have any direct influence on the outcome.
I don't talk about it with my family. It's just not a topic of conversation.
We are all on standby, waiting as history is being made.
I can't imagine that there are people who don't care.
In Madison, I'm Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
Interesting to get all those thoughts. Of course, those were just a portion of the people represented in Madison. The answers would likely differ depending on where you go.
Governor Evers says Wisconsin will continue welcoming refugees. He submitted a letter to the U.S. Department of State saying Wisconsin has a rich history of welcoming people of all backgrounds and that settlers bring with them, quote, valuable skills and experience which benefits all of us. The letter is a response to an executive order by President Trump requiring states and localities to provide written consent for refugee resettlement. Evers said he was disappointed that the administration was creating roadblocks. A conservative law firm has until Monday to respond to a request from the Department of Justice to put a hold on the deactivation of 200,000 voter registrations. An appeals court set that deadline after the DOJ requested the judge make the hold immediate without hearing the conservative firm's side. Workers with the state and UW have been approved for a raise beginning next year.
The legislative committee unanimously passed that this afternoon, but still decided to leave out a raise for the State Patrol. Amy Reed was there for that vote. She joins with how the State Patrol feels about it. Amy?
This was disappointing for them. They haven't had a raise since 2015 and want one to stay competitive. This was expected for the committee not to include State Patrol. Still, there were a few people who testified asking for the committee to include this raise anyway, including the union president for law enforcement in Wisconsin. Senator Jen Schilling from La Crosse said awarding this increase is how you support law enforcement.
It says a lot. In a time that we are quick to lift up law enforcement and to praise them as heroes, and you have our back in this building, that we don't have your back in this instance.
Assembly Speaker Robin Voss, who also co-chairs this committee, said the rate that State Patrol wanted, about 23%, was too high. He said if they come back with something in the high single digits, he would hear it in January. The rate State Patrol wanted approved today was based off local law enforcement agency salaries, since that's who they're competing with for talent. But now they said they'll go back, try and find a workable number, and get the most that the body will approve come January.
All right, we'll see where this goes then. Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you.
Next at 6, if you're looking for a reason to get outside this winter but not freeze in the process, there's a new downtown dining experience for you to check out. Stay with us.
Colder weather and high heating bills, that's a bad match. The winning match for your home is Eco Sky Windows from Mad City Windows. You can count on us to do the right thing and put the right product in your home, and it's not too late to get those old windows out. Now take a look at our custom-made windows featuring Sky Mirror technology and a U factor as low as 0.17. The lower the U factor, the better the window insulation. Put a stop to those high heating bills with one call to Mad City Windows, Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Now be a great time to give us a call at 608-338-1616 and take advantage of our year-end sale. 33% off new windows for your home, the biggest discounts we've offered all year. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2021. And if you call during this program, you get dinner for 2, plus we'll make a $5 donation to Big Brothers Big Sisters with your estimate. 608-338-1616.
Quick memo to all the other colleges I applied to.
I heard you when you said you were going to change me.
Transform me.
I heard you when you said you'd make me a better person.
And I said no to that. I came here to make change.
I'm proud of me.
I like me.
The current me.
And so does Edgewood College. Sure, I'll learn and I'll grow.
But mostly, what you see is what you get.
Edgewood.
Edgewood College.
Bring it.
Imagine facing Wisconsin's bitter cold winter without a warm home, or having to make the tough choice between eating or heating. Unfortunately, over 200,000 of our neighbors in need will face this difficult decision. Many are veterans or the elderly and disabled. Some just young working families struggling to meet their survival needs. Warm your heart this holiday season by giving the gift of warmth to those who are forced to choose between eating or heating. Please donate today.
A woman whose body was found in Racine County 20 years ago finally has a proper headstone. At a ceremony today, a gravestone marked Peggy Lynn Johnson Schroeder was installed. Johnson was killed in 1993 at 23 years old. For 2 decades, she was unidentified and her gravestone read Jane Doe. With the help of DNA and a tip, the Racine County Sheriff's Office finally identified her remains this November and arrested a Florida woman in connection to her death. The Racine County Sheriff says today is a sad but proud day.
We're happy that we were finally able to identify her. I couldn't imagine if that was my daughter, having her be here with a piece of paper that says her name on it. There's no dignity, there's no respect to that. So this was something that was important to our entire organization, our entire agency, and our entire community for that matter.
The sheriff says they will be moving Peggy to her final resting place in Illinois to be next to her mom's grave in March. They're asking for donations to help with the cost of the gravestone and moving her to Illinois.
Milwaukee Bucks players and coaches are making an impact on people serving time in the Racine County Prison.
Are y'all ready for real basketball tonight?
They brought all the sights and sounds of a Milwaukee Bucks game to the prison last night, including team dancers and the Rim Rockers halftime show. 9 inmates played in the game along with Governor Tony Evers and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, while Buck stars like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Pat Connaughton roamed the sidelines as coaches. The campaign that brought the game to the prison is all about breaking down stigmas of what it means to be incarcerated.
A restaurant, cafe, and brewery on East Washington Avenue are opening a new outdoor dining attraction. Guests can reserve heated domes this winter at Robinia Courtyard, which is home to Jardine, Black Locust Cafe, and Madison Tap. Each secluded dome can hold 8 people and will feature seasonal shared plates and beverage packages. It costs $200 to rent a dome for 90 minutes. That includes keepsake mugs and a drink package. The owners will also donate $20 from each reservation toward a nonprofit selected by the guest. Habitat for Humanity is dedicating its 41st home in Sun Prairie just in time for the holidays. The home will go to a single father of 3, and the family is excited to put down permanent roots. It'll be Habitat's 292nd home dedication in Dane County, and we'll have more on this story tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Coming up in sports, just about game time. Badger volleyball team preparing to take on the Baylor Bears in the national semifinals tomorrow in Pittsburgh. We'll have a look ahead.
Plus, a bit warmer tomorrow, and that should stick around through Christmas. Gary has your first alert forecast next.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
Boy, a chilly Wednesday out there. Gary, I'm ready for Thursday already, man. We're going to get a warm up.
But just be glad we didn't have any snow on the ground because temperatures would have been about 20 degrees colder than they were this morning. But a warm up is on the way beginning tomorrow. And if you take a look at our Christmas statistics, this is what we should normally see for Christmas Day. 28 for a high, 13 for a low. We've had as much as 3.5 inches of snow on Christmas Day, about 2/3 of an inch of precipitation. It's been as warm as 56 and as cold as 21 below zero. I don't think we'll see any of that. In fact, we'll look for high temperatures on Christmas Day about 42. So not a record high, but still well above that average high of 28 degrees. Not looking for any snow at all. Maybe a little bit of light rain in the afternoon, but not even close to a record for that. 3 things you need to know. Mid-30s expected for tomorrow with high temperatures back to around 40 on Friday. Dry weather all the way through Christmas Eve. The next chance of precipitation probably Christmas Day afternoon with the possibility for a couple of rain showers at that point, but those temperatures staying unseasonably mild. And it's been after a very snowy start to our season, all of a sudden it's like Mother Nature just turned the off switch here. And typically this time of year, December is our snowiest month, but we've had less than an inch of snow in December. Only 10 times up till this year in history, and this will almost certainly be the 11th. 70% of the time when that happens, we have a less snowy winter than normal. And in fact, if you look at the 10 least snowy Decembers in Madison, that half inch of snow that we've had so far could be staying in that top 10 as we head into the end of the month. I don't see much in the way of snowfall chances even through New Year's Day. The almanac for today, high temperature 20 degrees. That was early this morning. We dropped to 1 degree above zero, so big temperature drop this morning. We're at 16 now with mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures have actually started to creep up a little bit. Winds out of the south-southeast at 7 miles per hour. This morning, temperatures were in the teens to around 20 below zero in northern Wisconsin, mid-20s below zero in northern Minnesota. But those temperatures have rebounded here into the mid-teens. And notice as you go westward, those temperatures keep going up. So as the mild southwesterly winds start to kick in later on tonight, those temperatures will start to rise. Upper level winds still from the northwest, but notice that bulge in the jet stream as a big storm system moves onto the west coast. That will keep us mild probably right through the Christmas holiday. As we check out this current weather map, there's also a warm front out to the west. Now, on the other side of that front, temperatures go from the teens here to the 30s farther out to the west. And that milder air will be heading in our direction as winds start to pick up out of the south overnight and continue through tomorrow and into Thursday and Friday as well. Temperatures probably in the upper 30s to around 40 on Friday, and then temperatures staying in the 40s through the Christmas holiday. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures only maybe going down a couple more degrees and then start rising overnight. And for tomorrow, look for a partly sunny and milder day. High temperature will be right back up at 34 degrees. On future track, those temperatures going down a couple of degrees this evening, then climbing to near 20 by early tomorrow morning. Look for partly sunny skies tomorrow. High temperatures in the middle 30s. Tomorrow night, temperatures only going down into the middle 20s, and then high temperatures on Friday up around 40 degrees. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice those temperatures staying above normal, not only through the Christmas holiday, but into the latter part of next week. Chance of a rain or snow shower from Wednesday night into Thursday.
A football program cannot live on in-state players alone. Wisconsin head coach Paul Chryst talks signing day, and the Badger volleyball team talks redecorating. Sports is next. The day after the Big Ten championship, Wisconsin head coach Paul Chryst was in Hawaii on a recruiting visit. He signed outside linebacker Nick Herbig, so it worked. The first rule of Wisconsin football recruiting and every major program is you close the borders and try to keep your best in-state kids in-state. Now, you can't fill an entire class with Wisconsin-only players, so you have to go elsewhere. The Badgers have 12 out-of-state signees in today's class of 21.
You want to get guys that are a great fit, and you know,
you end up doing what you're saying and taking, some really good players. And so I think that's what feels good is when they come. I don't know if it's necessarily, we stole one from this state, right? It's not like that. The recruiting's, it's a two-way street. One side, the university has to identify it, and you're this, and then it's got to fit for the kid. But we're pumped about this group, in-state and out-of-state kids.
Like the media would ever put a cart before a horse. Wisconsin head volleyball coach Kelly Sheffield said the Fieldhouse would look good with a volleyball national title banner to hang next to the boxing ones. But there are still 2 more steps. Wisconsin faces #1 Baylor tomorrow night at 6 in the national semifinals. Now, nobody on the team's looking past that at all. But you can't help but think, what if the Badgers finish this run as the last team standing?
Certainly you're wanting that for the players. It's, you want them to be able to experience that and to be there when the confetti is falling. But I think it means a lot, but I think more importantly, you want them to stay locked in, stay present, enjoy what we're doing, and that stuff will kind of take care of itself. But it's a huge goal.
The Wisconsin wrestling program's gone from San Diego to Buffalo to Utah to Pennsylvania and Iowa over the past 6 weeks. Tomorrow, the Badgers finally get to open the home schedule against Kent State. Now remember to bring those packaged socks to donate and watch a group that's just happy to be home.
More than anything, we're ready to be home, ready to wrestle in front of our crowd. And it's been, we've challenged them. We've wrestled coast to coast in the last month and a half, and we're excited to be home. And again, a tough challenge Thursday night, but our guys are excited, and it's the end of the semester for us, so we want to end this thing on a good note.
Technically, it's just one of 82 regular season games, but when the Lakers roll into the Fiserv Forum tomorrow night, it's not going to be one of 82. Both teams with a league-best record of 24-4, both coming off losses, though. It won't determine anything with regard to standings, but don't ask Giannis if he's putting any more weight on this game than any of the other 81.
Every game means something. I don't think there's no meaningful games. Any game we lose, any game we win, means something. You got to build to get where you want to get. The Lakers, one of the best teams in the league. It's going to be a test for us. It's going to be a test. It's going to be a test for everybody. Can we get better? Can we do it against one of the best teams in the league?
I'm just waiting for the day that superstar athletes say, oh, it's more than just another game, and when college football coaches are like, we didn't recruit good players this year. We didn't quite hit it. Yeah, we didn't quite meet the mark this year.
He's fired up. He's going to show LeBron the mean mug.
Yeah, it's a national TV. Yeah. It's
Paul Chris should always recruit Hawaii. Wouldn't you do that?
I think there's another game this week. Got to go to Hawaii. Sorry. I don't have to go to Wisconsin. Nothing against the weather here, but a couple of Honolulu kids.
Why do you have 30 kids from Honolulu?
Lays everywhere.
Yeah. I don't think they'd want to come up this way under most winters.
They would like today.
But the temperatures will be warming right back up. Already some light snow in far northern Wisconsin on the leading edge of the warmer air. Nothing around here. But you can see we started out at 20 degrees early this morning, dropped to 1 degree above zero. Now we're back into the middle teens, and those temperatures will actually either hold steady or rise overnight, so that by tomorrow, look for high temperatures in the mid-30s as those winds pick up out of the south, and then 40 on Friday and 40s right through the Christmas holiday.
We expect that Honolulu forecast at 10 tonight.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Set up a bureau out there. It'd be great.
Thanks for joining us at 6.
Have a great evening. We'll see you back here at 10.